Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most powerful parts of AI workflow automation, the AI agent. If you've been exploring tools like OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google's Gemini, you've probably heard this term a lot. But what exactly is an AI agent, and how do we use it inside our workflow builder? Let's jump right in and break it down step by step. We're diving into one of the most powerful parts of AI workflow automation, the AI agent. If you've been exploring tools like OpenAI, Anthropic, or Google's Gemini, let's jump right in and break it down step by step. Let's talk about the AI agent because we're going to use AI agents in most of our workflows. And in practice, they're very useful because that's what we're working with. We're working with artificial intelligence, LLMs, and we're trying to build intelligent workflows. So what is an AI agent? Basically, it's a way to interact with an LLM. And we can, of course, personalize the LLM. We can use OpenAI's LLM, ChatGPT. We can use Cloud from Anthropic. We can use Google Gemini, whichever one we want. The model is mandatory. So the AI agent is a node that does require an LLM, a model, and we will see how we set that up. We can attach some memory. We can attach some tools if the LLM has the ability to use tools. And we can also output a format structure in a particular way so that the workflow can continue in a predefined way. Okay, so the best way to understand this is to go to the website Canvas and add some nodes. So here, the first one, we're going to use a on-chat message because we want to talk with the LLM via a chat. Then we have the option to add an AI. And here you have different types of AI, but the most generic one is the AI agent. Let's have a look through the others. So Anthropic, Google Gemini, OpenAI, these are specific to the LLMs that they represent, right? So they have some personalization options, but AI agent will usually do most, if not all of these. And then we have some other types of AI agents, which also the AI agent can do most of these, but some of them are quite interesting. So for example, if we add a text classifier, this will allow us to retrieve a text and put that text into a certain category based on the categories that we define, right? We can do that in an AI agent with the prompt. But this is more kind of specialized. But first, let's have a look at the AI agent node. So we've added it here in the canvas, and we can see straight away that it requires some things, right? So we have a chat model. This is mandatory, and we will add it in a second. We have memory, and we have tools here. We can attach any number of tools we like. Now, if we go inside here, we can either, since this is connected to a chat model, we can retrieve the input automatically. And this will work if the node attached to it is a chat node, but if it's further on in our workflow, then we need to define below. We need to personalize where we get the prompt. Okay, so that's the prompt down below in the properties. The most important one is the system message, where you tell the agent what kind of agent it is, you give it a role. You tell it what to do, what to expect, and so on and so forth. Maybe you want to give it a bit of information. For now, I'm going to leave the default, and I'm just going to remove this extra option and leave this as it is. We also have the option to require a specific output format. So if I enable that, you will see that a new connector has appeared. And here we can add an output parser. We're not going to do that right now. We will do that later on in the course. So let me just disable this for now. All right. So if we look at the output parser here, we can see that we have an output parser. We're going to attach a chat model here, and we have a bunch of options. We have Olama, which we talked about previously. If you want to only run your system on your local device, you can attach an Olama, you can attach a Google Gemini, Anthropic, whatever you want. But I'm going to go for the OpenAI, and here we're going to need to have an OpenAI credential. Okay, so this is important. I already have one, obviously, but you're going to create a new credential, and we're going to need here an API key. So in order to get the API key, we're going to go to platform openai.com. Hopefully you already have an account. If you don't, just go ahead and create one. And here in the account, we can just log in. Once you are logged in, you should see a screen similar to this. On the top right-hand side, you're going to have these settings. If you click on that and then you go to API keys, you're going to be able to generate a new secret key here. I'm going to call this an n8n course. Just select the default project and then create your secret key. Copy that and make sure you have that because we're going to need to put it here in the API key. Save, and that should connect automatically. All right, there we go. So we are now connected to OpenAI, and here I'm going to search for GPT-5. Hopefully it is something like that. There we go. Okay, you can use any GPT you like. Now, as a suggestion, if you use the GPT-5 mini or if you use the 4.0 mini, that's going to be much lower price. For testing purposes for developing your system, I recommend using the mini. It costs a lot less and it's much faster. If you want a smarter model GPT-5 or even GPT-4o actually might be a bit smarter than 5, we have our workflow. So now we can actually save it and test it out. So if I open the chat and I just say hi, this seems to be working. So we should get a reply. How can I help you today? And I can say, what model are you? All right, there we go. So we have it says it's running GPT-4o. It is what it is. Now here's the limitation. Let's say I will say something like, my name is Catalin, and then I ask it, what is my name? And it will say it doesn't know. That's because it doesn't remember the conversation, right? It only works with what I've given it previously. It doesn't really remember anything. So now we have the memory option. So let's add some memory. We're going to go for a simple memory. The simple memory simply provides a context window length and stores the 5 previous exchanges, and it gives it back to the model. Now keep in mind, if you make this too big, you're not going to be able to use it. I usually do 10 or 20, that is usually fine. If I say save and I repeat my messages again, and then I go, what is my name? So now it does remember the conversation that we had previously. So that is quite useful. Alright, so that's the very simple chatbot. Unfortunately, this we cannot really integrate into any website. In the next video, we will update this project so that we can integrate this chatbot into our website and talk to it directly. And that's how the AI agent node works and connects with your chosen LLM. So thank you for watching this. See you in the next video.